Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen with an engineering tech preview. Finally, this is going to be one of the most influential features in Star Citizen and covers multi-crew gameplay, damage control, checking for fires, fixing relays, repairing components. There is a ton of stuff here. Engineering had a limited test in April 2024 in Alpha 3.23 in Arena Commander. It's changed significantly since then. That's the last time I remember playing with engineering, before now anyway. CIG have put out a tech preview build for Evocati for engineering. This means as well that we can talk about what we've been playing, but we can't show it. We can't show any footage from it. This initial round of testing will probably be over by the time you see this video. We don't know if there are any plans for updates when this is going to come back, if it's going to open up to more waves. I'll keep you updated though, but it looks like at the very least they're going to take it back and do some updates and then bring it back. And that's hopefully what they'll do. Let's jump into what CIG said, what was tested, and give a bit more context. This playtest will focus mostly on engineering in the persistent universe and currently functions on around 70 ships. I'll put a list up on screen of the ships that are confirmed to be either working or partially implemented, fully implemented. What I will say is that there is no Idris in this list, but it does include vehicles, small ships, all the way up to Corvette-sized things like the Polaris. So there are big things ready for engineering, but not the Idris yet. Let's jump into the patch notes and give a little more context to what's broken, not working, and what's included. So, engineering screens and terminals. These are on a large range of ships, mostly with any form of interior, and they give you a room overview. You can also see components and states on your mini-maps as well now. You'll have a level of power management with these. You can create presets, which I believe are saved between sessions, and eventually you'll be able to put these on other ships. You'll literally be able to go, I've done a preset, chuck it on this ship. You can turn on and off components. So this is like weapons, thrusters, individual components like shields and power plants. You've got a log and notifications for failure. So engineering events are shown when components go offline. A lot of the time, the things we're going to be talking about don't work consistently. Like the engineering screens just don't turn on properly or fail to actually update. Obviously, that's bugs that CIG should solve. There is a new MFD diagnostic screen, so if you're sitting in the pilot seat or a co-pilot seat or whatever, this will give you similar functionality, or at least to a degree, that the engineering screens give you. So you have an overview of all components and events. You also have a one-time repair button for single-seater ships, basically going, let's repair my components to 20% health if they're broken. This is going to be temporary, obviously, but I think it's so that you can test repairing and that sort of level of functionality on ships that don't necessarily have an interior, or because you're testing something or whatever, right? Because the tech preview builds often are for focus testing as well. Also gives you critical state and health overview of all components. You can turn stuff on and off as well with components, weapons and thrusters, all that sort of jazz. You also have power management that you've always had. I'm really happy that they've given us those MFDs as well, because a lot of ships, as I said, don't have engineering consoles, or you might be in a position where you are piloting and there's a lot of stuff going on and you need quick access to an engineering function. You're telling the engineer where to go because something's broken and it's critical. Heat management is in as well. So items that are powered will produce heat that then needs countering with coolers or external means. So overheated components will shut off to cool down again after a while. I'm not actually sure at what level they start to shut down, but fire extinguishers will cool things down as well. So you can take a fire extinguisher and fire it at an overheating component and it will cool that down. There's life support management as well. So life support will make atmosphere and temperatures livable, breathable on your ship. At the moment, this is not affected by players consuming oxygen. That will be added later. It is, however, affected by fire, which will consume oxygen and raise temperatures. You can vent the ship, which will also affect the fire and atmosphere aboard. Now, I've not actually tested that specifically, so I don't know if that's functional at the moment, but it's supposed to be. And talking about fires on ships, they can spread. Fire can be triggered through overheated components. Fires can also get triggered through damaging of components, so you shoot them or they get hit or whatever. As I said, fire is supposed to be able to be extinguished by fire extinguishers, but also venting of the room, so it consumes all the oxygen in a room or whatever, and it will go, nope, I'm done. Right now, temperature needs to be brought down to prevent reignition, and as I said earlier, fire extinguishers can lower temps, but I believe you can also refill them by putting them back in their docks on the wall, and that will use the life support systems. Citation needed there again, because I've not tested that, but it is in the patch notes. There's been some changes to relays and fuses as well. So relay function has changed and is not in properly yet. I believe it will be in a build soon, the next one, question mark. The goal is to have fully intact relays allow for full power throughput. That means that each fuse that gets destroyed will reduce the total power available in a ship. Also means that relays are no longer the hard weak point anymore, where if you lost all the fuses in a particular area, that would render your ship or part of it dead. But it does mean you'll have to make concessions and power will be less effective getting to areas. Now, I didn't like the sound of that to start with, but considering you can individually destroy components or damage them, and eventually we're going to have the Maelstrom physical damage system that will have breakability and stuff like that, CIG have probably made a good decision here, because you don't want damage control to be overly fiddly. You want it to be active, and you want someone to go around repairing stuff, but you don't want power to go down on most of your ship because a single fuse blew. There was a single point of failure. Where's the redundancy there? Or because someone's come aboard your ship and just taken out 3 fuses and he goes, ha! There's no power to all your weapons. Also with repairing now, the repair gun now repairs components and uses a small amount of RMC to do that. The larger and more damaged the component is, the longer it takes to repair and the more RMC it consumes. There's been a full rebalancing of components, and this includes updating health and damage resistances and a new heat generation system. I've not seen how they actually interact with coolers with the new system. More that I can't quantify it in any way that I can convey that to you. I need to understand it a bit better. Beyond coolers cool. Components and a slightly more physical damage system. So obviously you have more physicalized components now. Ship weapons will penetrate the hull and damage the component that it hits that's underneath that area. Updated weapon balancing has been made as well to account for penetration and the new damage system. Ship armor updates are not in yet, so bear that in mind. They did not make it in time, but we might get that in a build soon if CIG continue to put builds out for this. Component death will result in components not being functional, but it can still be repaired. It might not be able to be repaired up to its maximum health, and you might need to go to a station or replace the component eventually. Power plants can go into a critical state, which can make the ship explode. And at the moment, this cannot be countered because it's not in properly yet. You will eventually be able to counter it by repairing the item or removing it and chucking it out the airlock or whatever. But currently, you cannot. So bear that in mind. There's more to come with this, and there are a load of bugs and stuff. So the known issues that CIG list for this at the moment are avoid salvage ships for this test because their components are having issues in the build. There's lots of client crashes in Arena Commander. There's a white flash that appears when ending a quantum jump. ArcCorp is missing its texture assets. There's a load of bugs and things broken beyond that as well, like MFDs, engineering screens not working sometimes. Nav mode was locking a ship to only go forward. The build's a little unstable as well. People may be having issues with video memory too. But I'm really happy that they're testing engineering. Maelstrom, I want to say as well, is super important. This is like the ship destruction, ship breakability system. Engineering allows CIG to start finalizing a load of stuff for flight and balance and combat, or at least get it into a much better state without so many placeholders. But Maelstrom, which was coming a bit later, will allow for a better armor system than the temporary system they've got for engineering here, and will add a load more nuance to ship combat. You can expect more updates to this, hopefully in the very near future. I'm hoping they continue to update this over the next few weeks and give us more and more things to test. But it's possible they take it back to the drawing board. I hope not. But we've got bug fixes that are going to be coming. There's more ships that are going to be added. Things like power plants being able to be dealt with rather than when they go critical, that's it. There's going to be a temporary armor system. There's going to be life support actually supporting players consuming oxygen, and much more coming. Boom, that's it for today and talking about those engineering tests. I am super excited for them, and CIG, I'm hoping they get it out early next year to actual live. Wouldn't that be a thing? But are you playing in those Evocati tests? What do you think if you have played in them? What do you think about what we talked about here? It doesn't matter if you played in them or not. You can have an opinion. Are you excited for engineering? Is it missing something? You're like, oh yeah, it's missing this. I was expecting to have this. For me, it's a bit more than the missing link in multi-crew gameplay and making that enjoyable. It's a core part of it, but it is the missing part of it that I'm so excited to get in, because it will make ship combat and capital ship combat so much more exciting. Obviously, Idris, that wasn't being tested yet, but if you can get the Idris gameplay, well, I suppose at this stage, if you get the Polaris really fun to multi-crew, and think about that, then Star Citizen is going to be a great game because of it. Do you hope there's going to be any other major changes or additions? When do you think this is going to come to life? And what's that? You want some NordVPN? Well, that's good. You can use the links below. Click those links. Get yourself a big discount on NordVPN, the best darn VPN that I ever did advertise on my channel. It helps out the channel as well, but you get better accessibility, security, and privacy on the interwebs. Thank you very much for watching. Engineering is finally being tested again, and I am so happy about it. What's that? A sponsorship from Pimax? Want to upgrade your VR experience? Of course you do. Check out the links below for Pimax's PC VR upgrade deal. If you've owned a VR headset previously and can prove it, you can unlock yourself a discount or rewards for a new Crystal Light or Crystal Super headset. These are incredibly high pieces of VR kit, giving you a truly amazing VR experience. They're super high res and have Tobii eye tracker tech integrated with them, so you can look around with your eyes. I'm just jumping back into VR and looking forward to trying the Super Crystal VR with a ton of games and trying to get Star Citizen to work with them, which eventually should have native VR support. Previous headset or not, click the links below and power up your VR experience. Every month we have a ship giveaway, and for October, because of CitizenCon and it's a big month for celebration, we are giving away 5 different ships to 5 different winners. They all come with a game package and lifetime insurance. We're giving away a C8X Pisces, the Arrow Light Fighter, the 100i luxury starting ship, the Sulen, a very cool, weird alien starting ship, and the Nomad from Consolidated Outland. All you need to do to be in for a chance of winning one of those ships is comment on any of my videos made during October. Any of those are great to start the game with, or just as another ship in your fleet, or even as a lifetime insurance token to upgrade to something else. A big thank you as well to CIG for providing some of those ships for that giveaway. If you would like to further support the channel, consider becoming a Patreon or using the join button under my videos. That will get you some occasional exclusive content, and it really does help us out loads. Also, like, share, subscribe, that all helps tons as well. Thank you so much for watching to the end, and I hope you have a great October.